we are. So I'm trying to look at my problems are on my screen. One, let's remind ourselves of the actual, we call this the law of sines. So fancy. So it's A over sine A, well, I need a new marker here, equals B over sine B equals C over sine C. And we said at any moment, we're just kind of picking two of those depending on what we have. I'm just gonna grab a new marker. I like them fresh, especially in that first preview. Nice and crispy here. Okay, so we look at our information. I always write in such a weird spot. Okay. And we'll kind of see what we got. So I'm going to tell you angle B. So remember, in uppercase is an angle, is 19 degrees. Angle C is 13 degrees. And side B is 16 inches. So yesterday we were doing we had like a bunch of decimals. They were getting kind of annoying, so we'll try to keep our numbers semi-decent here. Just making sure you can see at home, okay. Okay, so what I do right now is I just kind of assess my life and I say, I have this formula, like what do I use? So just look at what letters you have. I have B's and C's, so I don't really care about the A piece of this, so you kind of just ignore it. You just take two pieces. So I'm going to do B over sine B, actually I should tell you what you're solving for, equals C over sine C. And I should have told you that we are solving for side C. How exciting. So we're going to plug in what we have. Once again, that's why I like formulas. You just kind of throw in what you got and go from there. And then we'll just solve. So what do we got? I just kind of go in order here. Do I have little b? Yeah, I do. It's 16. Okay. Do I have uppercase B? Yeah, it's 19. So just make sure you write sine of 19. Don't just throw a 19 there. And then over here, I don't know side C, but I do know angle C, which I can put on the bottom. So that wasn't too torturous, hopefully. I have you guys at a weird inward home.
For sure.
Yeah, what's that?
What did we do yesterday?
We just did some examples like this.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'm moving you guys over a little bit at home. Okay, so then we're gonna solve this. So we said yesterday that this is called a proportion. To solve a proportion, you are going to cross multiply. So I like to write it out, or you can just do it in your calculator, whatever kind of works for you. But I get 16 times sine of 13 degrees. You always put an equal in the middle, and then you cross the other way. Delightful. And our main goal is to find out what C is. So then it's just a quick solve. Since it's connected with multiplication, I'll divide. And I'll divide. And now you have the setup that you need, and you are going to throw this into your calculator to find your final answer. So hopefully as you follow that, if you don't get something or you have a question, let me know. But if you followed it yesterday, basically it looks exactly like yesterday. We just changed the numbers. So it's really doing the same steps every time. And it comes out to about 11. I'm just going to round to one decimal place, 0.1. And that would be in inches. Oh, excuse me. So I'm going to give you a second because you're still writing. At the current moment, does anyone have a question with those steps? Isn't that just great, guys? I'm so proud of you. Okay, let me come out of computer today. Oh, this one's a little different. I kind of showed it to you quick yesterday, but let me re-show it to you. And then I'm going to have you guys try one or two. Oh my goodness. So yeah, the other day I came to the conclusion, I'm just like never not gonna be tired. So this is just my life now. So I don't even have to complain anymore. Because don't wait to have kids. I love my kids, like they're the cutest things in the whole world. My son wakes up at 5 every morning and just talks. Like he doesn't even cry. Like he'll like chill in his crib for like 2 hours. He just talks and talks. And he doesn't ever stop talking. And he's still obsessed with The Nightmare Before Christmas. Like this has been since October. He's obsessed with it. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's like the weirdest movie. And we got him this Jack Skellington. It's like the skeleton doll. So like he'd love. It's like so creepy. Like he couldn't even bring it anywhere. So this morning at 5, all I hear is Jack Skellington, and he's just like talking. And it's so cute, but I just like don't do it at 5 in the morning.
That's so weird. Why is he up?
He just wakes up and talks.
Just talk.
I mean, I guess it's better than like crying.
Crying.
And then have to like go deal with it. I love you, but go to sleep. Because kids don't care. They don't care that you're tired. They're just trying to torture you at all moments. But then he's so cute. I just can't leave him. The other day he wouldn't eat dinner, and I was like, "Oh, what do you want for dinner?" We were eating pizza. And he was like marshmallows, and I like really, he was just so cute when he said it. I almost just gave him marshmallows for dinner because I was like, you know what? I did ask you what you wanted.
Marshmallows.
And then he wanted candy. I said no. Sorry, I'm looking at my computer screen to do this. Okay. We got angle C. We got angle A. And we have side B. Ooh, what is this? Because everything's a different letter. I'm going to say we want to find. What do we want to find? Sorry. Let's find side A. So I kind of introduced this one yesterday, but we'll kind of go through it quick. It's really just adds one quick little step that we already know how to do. So it says find side A, and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm like, okay, I have side A, I have angle A. Okay, that's great. But the issue is I have angle C, and then I have side B. So technically I'd have to use all 3 of these, and that wouldn't even work because I would just plug random stuff in and I couldn't even really solve. So if this happens, you're like, oh crap, I really don't have what I need. Take your 2 angles that you have and find your 3rd angle by subtracting these from 180. So we've done that before. If you ever have 2 angles, you can always find the 3rd. We know every triangle adds to 180. So if we have angle C and A, we can find angle B by doing 180 minus 86 minus 21. Okay, so that's really the only new step we have to add, because then you'll see after that we can kind of just set it up how we've been setting it up. But sometimes it's just, you know, math books, they like to try to trick you. Make life a little harder than it has to be. Okay, so now we know angle B. So that's for any problem. If you have 2 angles, you can always find the 3rd. So now I kind of look and I say, ooh, okay, I need side A. So I'm definitely, when I'm doing my setup, if I need side A, I'm also going to need angle A, right? Because A and A kind of stick together. And I say, well, should I choose B or C? So choose the one they have more information for. So since I have side B and angle B, that's what I'm going to use kind of for my setup. So I know that I have angle C, but it's not really helpful to me since I don't have side C. So it's just more about like organizing the info. What do I need? So I definitely need that to be a part of my equation. And then which one do I have more information for? So I have more information for B. So my setup, I'm going to do A over sine A equals B over sine B. So a little more, but it's hopefully not too bad, especially with that calculator. So I'm going to do my setup. All right, just making sure that was something. Sometimes I get aggressive here with the board. So let's see what I got. So I don't know, kind of just plugging in here. I don't know side A, so I'll just leave it as A. I do know angle A, so I'm going to throw that in. I do know side B, and I do know angle B. And we had found angle B was 73. So it looks pretty much exactly like we just did. We're just changing a few numbers. The steps are the same. We are going to cross multiply. Remember, when you cross, you put an equal in the middle and then you cross the other way. And then before I plug it into my calculator, I like to kind of just get the whole thing set up. And since I'm solving for A, I would divide to get that by itself. And once again, as you kind of get used to it, if you just want to start throwing things in a calculator, that's fine. You don't necessarily write it out. I feel like sometimes I do that and I just kind of lose my spot. So I usually tend to write it out. So I just have everything in one spot to throw into my calculator. I just want to see that yeah, it comes out to like 8.99 something, so I'm just gonna round to 9. And that would be in meters. So that's about as crazy as they're gonna get today. So basically, if you're looking at it, you're saying, oh, we have all different letters. That's like really not helping me. You can find the third angle by subtracting the 2 that you know from 180. And then that kind of sets you up better to use that law of sines because you only want 2 pieces of it at a time, not 3. So just a little hands up. All right, there's our plan. Okay, beautiful. So I'm gonna have you guys try one. We'll see how we're feeling. We'll go over it, and then there'll be another one kind of similar to that one, and then maybe a wrap up. And that's
Voice to medical notes.
Yes, always. Gotta make sure you're alive at home. I'll put something up in a few minutes as well. Oops. Okay. All right, so this one you're gonna just attempt. So if I said, hey, now that we've seen a bunch between yesterday and today. Sorry, I'm always trying to read off my computer screen here. A is 55 degrees. Angle B is 33 degrees. And then side A is 18 yards. Can you find side B? So can you follow the work that we just did? And find that. Notice that for people at home. Oh, I'm sorry. Natalie. I'm recording this as well, so you can always go back, but I won't take ones out. That was my fault. I got excited. So let me set the people at home while you guys are working. Who are you guys? A? Today's Friday. So another minute, we'll go over that one. Oops. Holding. All right, let's go over that one. I have another one for you, and I want parties to wrap up now. I'm kind of we won't get too aggressive on Friday here. Oh. Sure I got everything. So I just look and I say, ooh, I have A's and B's, so I'll kind of stick with that in my formula. So I'll have A over sine A equals a B over sine B. And I'll plug into that. Okay, so that's not that bad. So that would be 18 over sine of 55 degrees equals B, because we don't know what that side is, that's what we're looking for, over sine of 33. Now, once again, I'm gonna write out my work, but if you're starting to kind of do this in your calculator, you can just cross this way, multiply that times that, and then you're always gonna divide by that one. So if you can remember, you cross the side that you know too, you multiply, and then you divide by the other one. But I'll write my steps out just so you see what I'm doing. So we get there, and then since our main goal is to get B by itself, we would divide by sine 55. Please make sure if you do have a calculator, you know how to use it. So if you're having an issue or you're not getting the same answer, please let me know. Sometimes things go in different modes, or if they reset, they get kind of weird. But you always want to figure that out before you're doing an assessment or something of the sort. It comes out to 11.9678, so I'm just going to round it to 12. So if you round it a little differently, that's fine. But anything around that, if you put 11.997, 12 works for me. So I'll leave that out for a second because I rushed people at home. I'm sorry. But please do a quick check and see if you were okay with that setup. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, we're gonna do one more. And then we'll kind of see what the timing is. All right, so here's our last one. I'll kind of keep that work up for another second though. So we're gonna be given two angles on the side. That's what we've been given the whole time there. But it's kind of similar to that second example we had done where we're kind of given some information, but maybe we need to find a little bit extra just to kind of do the setup. So I'll leave this work up for another minute if people need it. But here's your new problem. We're gonna have angle C is 156 degrees. It's a big old angle. Angle B is 14 degrees. Side A is 20 yards. I'm gonna say fine. So this is one of those ones where, okay, I need to find side C, so I'm feeling good about that because I have angle C. So I know I'm gonna use the C piece. But then I have angle B and side A, and that doesn't really help me out because they're kind of too mixed up. So if you have two angles, find your third angle, which is gonna be angle A. And then once you have angle A, you would use that with kind of side A. So I still have the old workup from the other one, just in case anyone's still writing it. But can you try this last one? So one extra step of just finding that third angle. So just subtract from 180. Oops. I have to do it and I just like something up. This is gonna be a
These boxes are really important to learn.
okay. I thought it was gonna be a huge number. Chrissy, do you have a question? Oh, okay, that's okay. It just like beeps and I just saw it, so. No problem. Alright, so I'm gonna erase that work underneath, just so that was for the last problem. We should all have that. Matt, do you have a question? Oh my gosh, you guys are all in, that's fine. Oh my goodness, that's it, 2 more minutes.
Wait, Mr. Chairman,
What up?
did you make sure to put it in mine too?
Yeah, I think so. 99% sure it's there, because I specifically assigned it to you. Yep, it should be there. I didn't forget.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh. All right, let's go over that one. I got bored sitting here, I'm ready to do math, it entertains me. So this one, once again, we said, like the information's kind of a little too spread out. We really need like just 2 variables, not 3. So I'm gonna take these 2 angles and subtract them from 180 degrees. And that will give us our 3rd angle. And if I have C and B, then that means this 3rd angle is angle A. So always just make sure you're good with the labeling piece of it. Oops, I don't know why I just keep hitting random buttons on the calculator. And A comes out to 10 degrees. Ooh, okay. So now I'm going to use this because I have side A and angle A. And then once again, since I need C, I'm going to use C. So the B, as much as it was exciting that it was there, I don't actually really need it for my work. It helps me find angle A, but we're kind of good to go. So I'm going to do A over sine A equals C over sine C. So once again, when you're choosing 2, it doesn't matter what 2 you choose, just choose the ones where you have that information. And it doesn't matter if you would put the C's first and the A's. That doesn't really matter, as long as you're picking what you got. So what do I got? 20, I'm gonna do A, over sine of 10 degrees equals, what do I got? Oh, I don't know C, over sine of 156 degrees. And I'm gonna do, hopefully you're starting to notice, like literally I'm doing the same thing every single time. That's what Trig is, you just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. But once you kind of realize that, it should make it a little bit easier for you. We're just changing the numbers. And that will give us our final answer. 156 divided by, I got like 46.8. You're on 47, that's fine. And that would be ours. And that, my friends, is how you use dollar sign. Now, if you can believe this, there actually is like way more we can do. I'm just trying to keep it light on a Friday. So we could go from there and say, hey, you could solve the whole triangle. And then you would go back and you have angle B, you'd have to find side B. So we're just kind of sticking to one thing at a time here, but there is other fun stuff, I'm sure, as you can imagine, that we can do with this. So we'll continue that into next week. So we still have a few more minutes.